but I just want to get this straight. Peace is to be the normal ruling operative program in your life. John 14, verse 27, Jesus is getting ready to go into a very non-peaceful situation and get ready to be crucified. Guess what Jesus says on his way to be crucified? He turns to his disciples in John 14, 27, and he says, peace I leave with you. He says, and then he goes deeper. He says, my peace I leave with you. Not as the world gives you peace. See, the world can give you peace momentarily. Okay? The world can give you peace in the form of a pill. They give you pill popping peace. Okay? The world will give you pill popping peace. The world will give you peace in form of an injection. Okay? The world will give you peace in form of Prozac. The world will give you peace in form of entertainment. If I get entertained, then for 2 hours, 3 hours, I want to think about how miserable I am. So the world will give you peace. But here is the difference between the peace God gives and the peace the world gives. The peace the world gives is outside in. It's something they do outside that you put in here that makes you feel better temporarily. Jesus says that is not the peace I'm talking about. Peace I leave with you, and the peace that I leave with you will be my peace. And what kind of peace do you have? Peace that can even handle a cross, because he's on his way to be crucified. Peace that can handle you getting ready to be slain. That's the peace, because I'm getting ready to go to the cross and I'm chilling. They get ready to put crown of thorns in my head and I'm cool. You know, I don't prefer it. I don't like it. Let this cup pass from me, but we're going to roll with it. He says, that's the kind of peace I want you to have. And that's the kind of peace I want to be normal for you. Not showing up every now and then. Worry should show up every now and then. Anxiety should show up every now and then. Peace you're supposed to roll with as long as you leave your shoes on.
Welcome to The Real with Joseph Lamtman. I am Joseph Lamtman. Welcome back to another episode. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys having a great day, good weekend. Hope all is well. I wanted to come on today to share this quick message with you guys today. And so hope you guys enjoyed the Tony Evans clip there in the beginning. I know I always enjoy those because always a good reminder for everybody, a refreshment. I actually learned, more tools to add to my arsenal spiritually when I listen to those. And so, but anyways, welcome to the show today, guys. The topic for today's show will be about anxiety, suppression, isolation, and what to do. I'll have a video here coming up in a couple of minutes from the anxiety guy on this topic. But, the reason why I wanted to bring this today, because, I've sat around, I've done the show for 4 months now, right? And so I've had a lot of people ask me about anxiety and their problems and what to do. And, I'm here, I'm X, Y, and Z. How did you do this? How'd you do that? Right? And myself, Mike Antonates, when he's been on, we've talked at length about this. And so, but I feel like you can't talk enough about it, because right now, you look out in our society, there's so many people that are dealing with this at such a high level right now. By the way, Godspeed, shout out to my Royce White hat. Go check out Royce White online if you're not. And go get support my boy. But anyways, sorry about that. But I saw the hat. I was like, I need to shout my boy out, Royce White. If you don't know who Royce White is now actually ready for Congress in Minnesota. But he used to be a former basketball player, and a lot of his journey, he was afraid to fly. He had a fear of flying, and it hindered his career. He had real bad anxiety from it, and now he's overcame that, and he's flying everywhere, and he's doing a lot of incredible things, and he's a God-fearing Christian as well. And so, I want to shout him out because I saw the hat, and I said, got to shout my boy out. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So, again, I've been doing this show for about 4 months now, and when I do this show, like I said, a lot of people have asked me what to do, where they are. They tell me where they are, and the biggest thing I see is people are afraid to be vulnerable. And what I mean by that is people are really afraid to share their story, be honest, be open with people, be open with others, even in private. And I've been there. There was a time period where hell, I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't share anybody anything. I didn't want anybody to know what was going on with me. I didn't. It was almost like a robot every day. It's just like a suit I put on every day. This anxious, worried, protective suit, right? And so every day when I put that suit on, it was holding me back from being who I really am. And looking back, there's a lot of people, a lot of places, a lot of things I was in, people around that never really got to really know the real me. I don't think because I wore that suit, but I didn't know how to handle that. I didn't know what to do. I was only, hell, at the time I was only 12 to about. I started around 12 years old, and it went all the way till really just this past year when I was 21, to be honest. So 22 now. But until I started doing this podcast and this show and really just be open and vulnerable, I mean, you guys heard me. I've laid it all out here on this show. I'm an open book now, but because I feel like it's needed. If I got to be the one, or hell, I'm not the first one. The anxiety guy's been doing it. If we got to be the ones to try to get people to, and there's so many other people that are doing it now, which is awesome. To open up and share your story, be open and be honest, and not really care what people think. Because to be honest, a lot of what you're going through, this is something I've learned. That's damn near what 90% of other people are going through too. At least 90% are going through the exact same thing or some form of what you're going through. And so, for me, when I started just being open, honest, and being who I really am, because that's what I feel like I was being called to do. Everything started to change, and I'm still growing and working on things, but I'm way different than where I was at this time last year. This time last year at this time in August, I think you guys heard me talk about it. I've talked about August of 2021. I was not in a good place at all. I was very down, angry, isolated, depressed, and just like, man, there was so many things I wish I felt like I was so far away from my goals and dreams. Now, a year later, though, because I've spoken my truth, I embrace vulnerability, and I just the truth is, I say all the time. I said it, the truth shall set you free. I'm experiencing that, and so. And a lot of my goals and dreams and relationships with people have been picked right up where they not only picked them up where they are, picked them right up from where they were, but I can taste and I can taste and smell those dreams and goals now. Like I'm there. I feel like I'm heading there. I'm like right there, and so it could change just like that. But I think for a lot of people, they want it so bad, but they don't know what to do. So what they continue to do is suppress and isolate. That's what we're taught to do in our society. We're taught to suppress. We're taught to isolate. We're taught to don't you say a word to nobody. Just suck it up and deal with it. Just take this that we give you and just deal with it, right? And so it's kind of like what Tony was saying there. But you see, to really heal, to naturally heal, to grow out and really truly get where you want to go to, you got to be able to be vulnerable. You got to be able to speak your truth. You got to allow yourself to be. Yes, it's going to feel uncomfortable, but it's a good uncomfortable, because you're going into a transition where you're heading towards your true self. And for me, I've been towards the end of that transition. I feel like I've been in that transition finally. And so, but for a lot of people, like I was saying, they stay in that cycle. And I always look. It's like a hamster running on a wheel. And so, just runs, but it ain't going anywhere. Just sitting there, just running 100 miles an hour. Look around at people nowadays in our society. That's all everybody's doing. Just running around 100 miles an hour, stressed out, pissed off, hiding. They get, and what I mean by hiding, a lot of people, what happens, they go out, they get pissed off, they get stressed out, they have a bad day, they go home, they just sit and melt in their house. And don't communicate, and don't do nothing. And that's their life every day. And that's a lot of our society nowadays. That's what we do. That's what a lot of us are doing. We don't communicate anymore. We don't talk to each other anymore. Everything's so sensitive now. Everything's so, social media has completely taken over how everybody thinks, and how they act. What's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and all this is straight up just bullshit. That's what it is. And I tried to cuss, but that's what it is. It's straight up BS. And so, for me, like what Tony said there at the beginning, that's what the world tries to do. That's the world's peace. Then there's God's peace, the real peace, which is truth. And when you stand on truth and develop truth within you, allow truth to work within you, you start to see how you can really, how almost like superhuman you are. God gave you a superhuman capability within you. A lot of people don't look at it like that. You really have a supernatural, super capability within you with the Holy Spirit. And it's a power God gives you. It's, it starts with your spirit. Then from your spirit, it goes to your soul. Then from your soul to your body. But your spirit is your DNA. That's where it starts. God made your DNA. And so, but I think for a lot of people, though, connecting, opening up, and just allowing yourself to be is key. And so allow yourself to be vulnerable is key. And having patience. There's a lot of things that are key. Patience, vulnerability, consistency. But let's say you're in that state, right? You're right where I was. Okay, you're very maybe you're down. You're isolated right now. You feel like you're in a jam. Maybe you're in a situation where you're kind of like, should I keep going, doing X, Y, and Z, or hanging out with X, Y, and Z, or whatever it is? You're kind of at that crossroad, the fork in the road, right? You got to make a decision. It's like what to do, how to get out. And so this video today I'm about to share is more centered towards anxiety. It's the anxiety guy, but he's going to share what helped him connect, and a lot of these things kind of help me connect too. So they're good tips. I hope you guys can take a lot from it. It's a good video. It's just 10 minutes. I'm gonna share it. But yeah, let me get this video up here, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully this guy. I'm just mumbling my words all over the place today. But anywho, hopefully you guys can take something away from this video. That's why I want to share it today, because I listened to it earlier before I came on, just to kind of get some points. Let me rewind it. So this video is whoa, not yet. Connect. This is the anxiety guy. You guys know him. If not, go subscribe to the anxiety guy if you haven't already. Follow him on Instagram, Facebook. He's all over the place. He's got programs. It's number one anxiety support group there is online, period. And so it's the best anxiety support there is in general. And so, but the title of this video is Connect, Help Others Understand Your Anxiety. And so, again, like I said, I think a lot of people don't know what to do, but I think what hinders people, I'm just speaking from where I was, when I was in this isolation state, I had things I really wanted, but I didn't know what to do. And I think one of the biggest step that can help so many people is having the people around you and who you pick to put around you to help you, because you don't feel like you're suppressing it anymore. You feel like you could be you. Like the first step of being you is you feel like you can be you, and it's accepting who you are. And that starts from within. Like I said, with God's peace starts internally. But I think also, when you start going and making changes in your life, becoming who you want to be, people around you are going to get pissed off. Some people, not everybody. Let me clarify. There might be some people in your life that are going to be pissed off and may not talk to you as much. And you know what? That's their own loss. And that's how I approach it. Now, luckily, I don't have that in my life. I've been surrounded by great people. But for a lot of people, though, they're afraid to change because they feel like if they start speaking truth, it might make somebody else face reality, or maybe, might make you may have to tell your authority figure or tell whoever you're in a relationship with, or whatever it is, that you have to say something to lay the law down. You got to set a boundary. You got to do what's best for you, because in order to become the best version of yourself, how can you help others if you're not the best version of yourself? In order for you to get where you want to go, you have to take that first step. And it's okay to be a little selfish on this journey. Like I said, and I said it too soon actually because I'm thinking 100 miles an hour. But let me slow down, because this is I'm very passionate about this topic because this topic is exactly where I was. And like I was saying though, if you really want to become who you really want to be, your true self, and you want to help people impact this world and use the gifts God gave you and allow His plan and vision for your life to really come to fruition, you got to set some boundaries down. But it's okay to be a little selfish because you got to help yourself. And sometimes that might piss some people off. And so to become the best version of yourself, you got to start with yourself first, and not really care what people think. And so you got to be honest with yourself too. And that's how you really help others, is becoming your real self. I'm just stumbling my words all over the place today, guys. Let me stop for a minute. But you guys get what I'm saying, though. But if you really want to help people and make the impact in this world like you want to, you have to help yourself first. And that's more than anxiety. And so I'm just going to stop talking because I need a drink of water, take a deep breath. And so, but I hope you guys get the gist of what I'm trying to say here in the beginning. Open this up. Let's get to this video, and I'm going to go drink some water, take a deep breath, and I'll be right back. All right, cool.
Warriors, welcome to day 18 of 29 days of the Anxiety Guy. Today, we're making it easier on our support team by helping them understand what it's like to live with anxiety. Let's go.
Did we find it?
Let's go. Good morning, my friends. Today is day 18 of 29 days of the Anxiety Guide, where I put out one video every single day in the month of February 2020, answering your important questions from the comment sections below. Now, this is a question that is highly relatable. I know I can relate, and there's a lot of people out there that can relate as well. It comes from Amber James, and Amber asks, Dennis, what can I do to help others understand my anxiety better? It's creating turmoil in my relationships. So I've been in this place. I've been in this place where you feel like nobody understands you. And the more you try to explain to other people what's going on in your inner world, the more confused they get and the more frustrated you get. So let's understand something first and foremost, and that is that convincing others to support uses up tremendous energy that could be used for personal change. So the energy that you're exuding, trying to convince other people, and constantly running the words of you just don't understand, is using up energy. And that energy could be used up in a better way towards your personal growth. Notice when you take the energy away from things that are draining you and place that energy onto things that will help you, tremendous changes start to arise. But the first thing we need to focus on is that you must have enough intuitiveness to understand whether someone wants to support but doesn't know how, compared to someone who's already overloaded and can't support. I always, on this journey of healing anxiety, was trying to get everybody to support me, everybody. It was almost like I was looking to recruit more people, even people I didn't know. I was just itching to talk about something painful.
By the way, I eat my grapes. I mean to stop, but that's a hell of a point you made there because, you know, Man, this grape's pretty good. But anywho, a lot of people, like he was saying there, they try to recruit so many people. If I could just get so many X amount of friends, if I get so many people in my life, I'll feel better, right? And this kind of talks or speaks about a point I always think about in our society. We should focus more on quality, but we now focus more on quantity, and that's how we're trained to think. The more quantity we have, and the less quality, the better. When really it should be the other way around, right? And this just kind of goes to this a lot of things in our society now. We're living in a very opposite society, very upside down. What used to be right is wrong, and what used to be wrong is now right. And so, but I think you got to be careful who you surround yourself. Have quality people around you, because if you surround yourself with shitty people and bad support, and there's people that really don't help you. Not saying you don't talk to them, but that's who you hang around with the most, and who you hang around with the most, and who you talk to, what you see and hear is what you become, and so it impacts you. It's what you give your energy to. Protect your energy. That's what I'm saying. Protect your energy field. You have a certain amount of energy points each day. What are you giving them to? Into who? Into what are you giving those points into? And so protect yourself, protect your energy, protect your well-being, and don't just try to force things to happen. You got to allow things to happen. And so again, it's the balance, like I've talked about in the past, between doership and allowance. You're constantly trying to force things. You're going to get to a place where you get kind of disappointed because it happens. You get disappointed a lot of times when you try to force things, because you're putting so much pressure on yourself to get a certain end result, and when the end result doesn't happen, then you crash, you get down, you start to doubt yourself, and you go into a hole. And I've been there. For a while I was trying to force, and then I got to a place where last summer where I just couldn't do it anymore. It wasn't working. I started to doubt myself and what I was doing. When around a lot of what I wanted to do, it was right in front of me, but it was up to me to have the awareness and to be honest with myself to really take a step back in my whole life and kind of just look at all the things I need to get rid of, habits, people, or maybe if you have people in your life, you set boundaries, what you put your energy into, and kind of be more gentle with yourself, but also, as he'll get into coming up, being honest with yourself and being honest with people. And so, I'm going to stop there and let's get back to the video. Hold on 1 second.
Something uncomfortable, something that was holding me back in life. It was almost like, well, it is an unconscious program running in the background saying, this is the way you need to be. But we need to understand which people are on board. And if they are on board, what am I doing that is not portraying the proper lesson in all of this? And secondly, other people may be caring and loving, but they may be completely overloaded and overwhelmed with things going on in their lives. So to take it personal makes no sense. Makes no sense. We need to understand the difference between these people, give space to people that are overloaded, and explain better how I'm about to explain to you. Explain better what's going on within an anxiety disorders sufferer's life. Now, if they're on board, lead them to related content and books. First and foremost, right? The authority figures out there, the people that have gone through anxiety, the people that are teaching that focus on root causes and not symptoms, those are the people that need to be speaking to the people that are going to be supporting you. So draw them towards content such as this one that they will commit to on a daily basis, with or without you, to better understand your anxiety. This is important because I remember with one particular person, I gave them one book. And that book basically changed their entire perspective over what I was going through and what really was some of the root causes to my anxiety. Waking the Tiger. Waking the Tiger. And Peter Levine, in fact, great author, got many, many books out there, but really helps you to understand why you suffer in the present moment that's connected to what happened in the past. Now, here's what we want to do. We want to explain in specific language what goes on within you. We don't want to be too general. A lot of people say, I just don't feel good today. Don't you understand? Well, no, they don't understand because it's too general. You got to be specific with these people, okay, that are trying to help you. Be specific. What symptom? How painful? When does it show up? Why does it show up? What kind of things in your life are overwhelming you? Why are they overwhelming you? How much are you sleeping? How much do you need to sleep? I need you to be very, very specific as to what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, okay, and what you must do, and hopefully through the support of that person, together do to begin healing. So get.
And I want to make this point because I feel like this is an important point because this relates to me as well. I've experienced this. I like what he's saying there because the biggest thing I take away is you learn so much information. I was in a place where I learned so much. For years, I listened to, God, forget hours, months of podcasts, especially from this gentleman right here on the screen, Dennis. I mean, I listened to so many. My knowledge of anxiety and all the things I learned was so high because I mean, when you sit and listen to hours and hours and hours of it, which I constantly did, because I wanted to learn what was going on the inside of me. I needed something to help me slow down to think. I gained a lot of knowledge, and for a long time, for years, I've watched so many other podcasts, watched so many other shows. People, and a lot of these people are, bigger names, who like people who are big in this podcasting, TV shows, art journalists, you name it. I've gotten to know some of these people personally behind the scenes, and got to talk to them a couple of times, kind of pick their brain. But I've also watched how they work. And for years, I sat and I watched, I observed, and I watched how people do their craft. And I kind of took little bits and pieces from every, this show, how they kind of do things, and kind of gave me ideas. And so, with saying all that, I learned so much information that I was storing on the inside, and I wasn't putting it out. You know what I mean? I wasn't putting that energy out. I wasn't allowing that information to share it, which is what I should have been doing, what I wanted to do for so long. And so, again, what helped me was understanding when I got to a point where like I said, right before I did my first episode back in April, something was really telling me, like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. You're prepared, like, you know what to do. Who cares how? Just do it. Just start it. And like I said, for a while, people would be like, "Hey man, where's that podcast coming?" I'm like, "Oh, 2 weeks, a couple months, give it time." I wasn't planning no damn podcast. A couple months, my ass. I wasn't doing nothing. I was just sitting there talking about it. I had an idea, but I didn't actually like really plan it. You know what I mean? And so, and it just got to a day where the first time I recorded, I didn't even plan on recording that day. It just happened that day, and I finally did it. And here I am now, 30 episodes in. And so, how far I've come in 4 months as well. And so, but share your information, share who you are with people. That's how I look at it. God said I was something. That's how I look. God said I was something because there's something unique about me. There's something unique about you. He made us all unique in his own image. You got something about you that's different. Share it with people. Share your information because, like you said here, when you start sharing your knowledge and sharing with that support person, let's say, like he was explaining, it can help them as well. And that's happened in my own life. A lot of things I've gone through and learned and experienced, I've shared with people around me who have gone through things for years and didn't really understand, just kind of getting by because they didn't know. And now they've seen how the things I've learned and that I've shared with them and how I've grown. this is people older than me as well, and it's helped them, even at age whatever, no whatever age you're at. And so, but you see the chain reaction there. It's a chain reaction. When you allow yourself to go out there and be, and allow God to work through you, incredible things happen. And but only it impacts so many people around you too. That's something I didn't realize, and I still don't realize sometimes. I have people that message me after my shows, and my show is still a smaller show. Obviously, I keep going, and I want it to grow, obviously, but it's a slow grind. That's just how it is. You got to start somewhere. But even just where it is now, so many people I've known, I known of, or maybe I've never really talked to, they've hit me up behind the scenes, and they just started to open up to me about what the problems are going through and how my show has helped them, and just it helps when they had a bad day. And I'm just kind of, and I was just like, when I read those things, I get very, it's like goosebumps. It's like juice to my body, because it's all worth it. That I know I'm starting to slowly see more and more why God has, had me start doing this. But I had to share my information. I had to share the gifts that He gave me, and that's what I'm trying to get across here. Share you with the world. Maybe you were where I was. Maybe you've learned so many. Maybe you learned so many. Hours of knowledge on something you're passionate about. For me, it was my anxiety, because it's something I've experienced and went through. But whatever you're passionate about, there's something that can help people. Share it with this. Speak up. Like, don't be afraid. People want to see you. We're craving authenticity in this world, because there's not much of it anymore. It's been slowly diminished. And so I think that's why a lot of people are going crazy too, because they can't find in relationships, in anything they do now, you can't find true authenticity. You can't find true people just being real and honest with people that you feel like you could really connect with and open up with, because that also helps you in turn grow, and you can help somebody else grow. But we don't do this a lot anymore. Everything now is ran through apps and what we're told to think, how to think, and programming. And this is the result of that. This is why so many people, anxiety, suppression, isolation, depression, everything, it's at an all-time high, because it's going to keep going up. This is where we are now. And we've also lost our spiritual touch as well, which, like what Mike and Antonace and I talked about back in episode 27. And so, again, share yourself with this, be open, be you. Who cares? Be you. There's only one of you. I'm cool with who I am. God said I was something. That's why I just walk around now. I don't even care. I put my shades on, my hater shades on, if I can get them on. Sitting there eating my grapes. Because God is good. God is good. Yes, Lord. And so, yeah. Just share yourself with this world and be who you want to be. But, let's get back to the video. I've talked too much.
Specific in your language, warrior, or else you're going to lose them. You're going to lose them. Oh, there's symptoms back again. Okay, don't know what to do with that. Okay. Another thing that we have to do is book a day with them as they accompany you everywhere. I did this and it worked. Miracles. Today, Jill, Dave, Mike, whoever it is, brother, sister, mom, I don't care, wife, I'm taking the day off work. All right. And so should you. And today, or on an off day, I want you to come with me from morning till night. And we're going to go to these environments. We're going to meet these people, put ourselves in these situations. And I'm going to let you feel out my emotions, my energy as I go through these. And I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts as fear and anxiety and worry shows up. What better way to get a supporter on board as to what the heck is going on in the mind, body, spirit of an anxiety sufferer? So do this. Let them accompany you for an entire day, and trust me, they're going to get a very deep understanding. Then what you want to do.
Okay, no. I want to share this because thank you to my mom and dad, because without my mom and dad, what he just said there about accompanying me and you know, it is a sacrifice, and it can be very hard on families, it can be hard on households, it can be hard on you, and the people around you that want to see you do well. But again, this is why it's so important to be honest with people and tell them how you think, how you feel, and tell them where you are. Because if people around you really truly care and love you, at least for me, if somebody came to me and told me that, I would try to help them any way I can, the best I can. Doesn't mean I can do it for them, but I can help the best I can. We all need help in this world. We all need a lending hand. That's how we're made. It's how we're supposed to. It's normal to ask for help. It's okay. And so, but again, that's a great point, because my mom and dad have many days, like that where they've had to kind of help me out and accompany me, and I just have had some of those rough days. Even at night, I've had other family members too. When I was first got out of school, when I left school abruptly when I was 15 because of my anxiety, I couldn't even be home by myself. So I used to go to my aunt's house, my aunt Jill, my uncle Brent. Love you guys. And thankfully they were open arms. They helped out a lot in that time period because they helped me. I was able to go over their house every day just to be just be with people. You know what I mean? So I wasn't at home sitting and feeling worse. And so, but it helped me for a while just to get out and just to, you know, but it felt good to have people that really cared. People that were willing to allow me to, like I said, just come over and hang out every day because my mom would be at work, my sister was at school, and my schooling at the time was online. So I would just go over there rather than sit at home and be anxious. And uh, gosh, who knows where I'd be if I would have stayed at home all that time period right after all that. Because when all that first happened, uh, I needed people more than ever. And so, and we always need people, but thankfully I had people around me that were willing to lend a hand and allow me to, do what I need to do to help myself. And so, but again, that's a great point he made there, because, um, you know, you got to have the right people around you, but also people that are willing to do, like you said, that with you, take a day or take a whatever period. It's systematic desensitization is what it's called. And it's a step-by-step process. And I've explained that on this show. A lot of people try to go from, 0 to 100 like that. Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes time. It takes time to rebuild. You're almost reprogramming your mind. You're becoming your true self. You're in a transition. A transition takes time to get somewhere. And so that's where you have to have that understanding, that mindset, to understand that, hey, this is a transition. It takes time, but also the people around you understand that as well. And there's no timetable for healing. Some people it takes quicker, some people it takes longer. It just depends on the situation and kind of what they're going through, and just what's going on around them, and just where they are. It's different for everybody. And so mine's different from other people's. And so again, be honest with people and who you surround yourself with, and are these people that were willing to, not that they can do it for you, but like you said there, find somebody that will listen to you too, and just be there for you, try to help guide you, and take a day out, like you said there, to uh you know go wherever you want to go, follow you around that day, just kind of see how it works. And what he's really trying to say, what I'm trying to say is, get people that are willing to understand you more what you're going through. And like I said earlier, when you do that, watch, you might find somebody, when you start sharing that knowledge with them, or sharing who you are, you become close to them, but you start to help that person as well. See, that's the chain reaction, and that's more than anxiety. But yeah, that's a good point there. Let's finish this up. Get off screen.
Do is once you feel like they understand your journey better, distance yourself from speaking about anything related to victimhood around anxiety. Instead, talk about your progress. There are no victims here. There are only thoughts. There are only emotions. There are only actions that turned into a mood. Anxiety is a mood. Anxiety is a hypnotic state. Anxiety is trance. To break you out of that trance, you got to do things differently, starting with the way you speak about yourself. So please, don't keep speaking about yourself and situations from the day as if you are a victim to those situations. Begin speaking about your progress based on what you're implementing that may or may not have worked throughout the day. This is the language that will change your vocabulary. When you change your vocabulary, the subconscious mind down there taking notes all the time is going, what's going on? There's a shift happening here. Let's just make sure that it's a safe shift. Let's place a few more roadblocks in front of this person as they're creating change. And let's see if they roll over those roadblocks. And if they do, then we will accept these changes. This is the process towards healing. Warriors, remember that you are more than anxiety. Look out for the book coming out March 2020. This book right here, every anxiety sufferer needs it. It will be on Amazon. I will continue to create updates around the book on our Facebook page. I love you so very much from the bottom of my heart. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next day. Bye-bye.
Great video again by Dennis, and I just actually have that book right here, F Coping to Start Healing. Great book. He's got 2 other books too. Go pick them up today. So, something over there. Let me get this off the screen. But yeah, I love what he said there at the end too about victimhood, right? And I feel like a lot of people stay in that victimhood state. And again, that's a lot of what I was saying today. Our society tells us to be victims, to suppress, to, just kind of be a victim and don't allow yourself to just be. When you're a victim in that victimhood mentality, you're very easy. You can be very easily controlled and manipulated because you're vulnerable in a bad way. So what I mean by vulnerable, allowing yourself to be vulnerable for change is great. But a lot of people, when they're in a down place, your mind's vulnerable to the outside world, to really spiritually, to Satan can really come and play tricks and games on you. Your mind, your fear, the fear in your mind can come and play tricks on you. And so you're very vulnerable to be persuaded in a different direction that could take you downhill. And so, again, it starts with the mindset, starts with the mentality. I'm not a victim, and I never was a victim. And so if I would have had that victimhood mentality, and I did periodic for a short period, when I got out of that, when I left my school where I was at because of my anxiety, my panic, I had some other things that happened to me that summer that I've shared briefly with on the show before. My first episode, I went through an experience where, I feel like there was a certain a coach that was kind of an ass to me for a while, for kind of treating me kind of like trash sometimes. I was completely honest. I've never been really honest about it, but I guess I could say it now. But, I don't know. Looking back on it, that time, that's how I felt. I felt like I was being made out like I was weak, like I was a quitter, like I was being made out to somebody I'm not. But I wasn't what I was going through. What I was going through, nobody knew what I was going through at the time around me. And so, but for years though, I carried that kind of I'll say years. For years, I carried that anger, but for a short period, I carried kind of that victimhood mentality, like they did this to me and blah blah that or that. I want to say they did, but this person did this to me and so forth. But as time went on, I look back on it, and it wasn't really that person's fault at all. That person just didn't know. They didn't know what I was going through, and that was just their style, which is fine. I like being coached. I have been coached my whole life, and so um, I think it was just the wrong circumstances at the wrong time. It just didn't. It was the wrong mix of things at the wrong time, and so. But for a while, I had that mentality. But when I got older, I realized as time went on, hey, I don't know what that person was going through at that time, but in my heart, I forgave that person. I prayed to God, I forgave them, and tell God to, help them in any way, whatever they're going through, and help me, God, to share my story with someone, maybe the next 15-year-old where I was. And so that's why I do this now. I have a lot of reasons, because there could be another 15-year-old out there right now that could watch this, or somebody's son, which I've had, sons who are going through it where I was, and they need help. They're going through the same type of thing. This is pretty common nowadays. I've noticed ever since I left out of my situation, I've talked to so many people in the years since that have gone through similar situations that I went through, and where a lot of them they quit playing sports and they kind of just went downhill. And they kind of spiraled out and they're just kind of down now. They're dealing with anxiety, and so. Uh, but again, I don't feel like a lot of people know what to do, and so uh, that's why I'm here, because to let you know that, well, I've been there. I've been where you were, and hey, I'm gonna help you. Let me share my information to kind of see if I can help you guys in any way to get to where I've been. And here's the people that have helped me along the way. That's why I shared the Anxiety Guy videos, because he was one of the people that helped me along the way and still does. He's one of my mentors, and so, but again, it's a mindset. If I would have had that victimhood mentality, if I would have kept carrying that on, I'd be full of anger. When you carry anger around and unforgiveness in your heart, that's a heavy weight on the inside of you. You know, when you're sitting around for years, bitter, down, depressed, that you feel like you lost a lot of things you were so close to. That really eats at you, and I've been there. Right, I've been there, and so uh, when you start to speak your truth and let it out and express it, and to allow yourself to be vulnerable for change, to be good, for good, excuse me, man, your whole world starts to open up. But most importantly, allowing yourself to be, just allowing, and allowing God to work through you, allowing God's will to play out in His life, or excuse me, in your life, that He has a will plan for you, a purpose. And man, when you start to allow Him to work through you and just give it all up to Him and hand the ball off to Him, per se, hand the ball off, you know, man, it just starts to change everything. You start to have more peace, but the things around you, the people around you, everything starts to slow down more. And you start to realize what's really important, what's not. And that's something it's kind of where I am in my life that maybe some people haven't are yet. I'm still, I'm only 22 years old. I don't really know a whole lot. I'm young still. I haven't 22 years old is very young, and so, but the more I continue through life, and people in my age group, will continue to all grow together through life. But what I was trying to say was, lost my thought for a second. Oh, um, man, like I said, the things around me just slow down. But I think what helped me was to really understand that, when I remember what I was saying. Sorry, guys, I forgot what I was going to say. But, and Mike Antonis. Okay, let me stop. Okay, I got my thought back. All right, sorry about that. I just want to make sure I get this point across, because it's an important point. So, okay, when Mike Antonis comes on this show, right? You've heard Mike Antonis talk about his story many times, and how Mike hit a crash. Mike went through. He lost somebody very close to him in his life. Lost his father, and he went downhill. And he was way out in left field, not connected to God, not connected to a whole lot of things. He was drinking, the whole drinking, smoke, the whole thing. And so, his life was really going downhill. and he was kind of out of touch with things. And for me, my own journey, I got to a point where I went down really deep and depressed and isolated, dark, didn't know where I was going, and I went downhill and hit a crash. But when you come out of that and you start to slowly go through that, I explained how what's helped me, and Mike explained what helped him get through his struggles, and kind of now where he is now, where he's more free, just open, he's more connected with God than ever. Um, he's more peace within him, and he's growing. He's still growing each day, like I am. We're both growing each day. It's part of life. But man, when you go through stuff like that, you start to realize what's important and what's really not important. And a lot of things in our society we think is important really isn't important. That's why when people bring certain things to me sometimes, or ask me about things, I don't know what they're talking about, or I don't really have any interest, because it's not that I don't care. I mean, I want to go out. I'm interested in things. I want to go out and have fun. Obviously, I have fun and live life. But, a lot of the things people are focused on, that's what I'm really getting at. What are you really focused on during your day? What are you worried about? Are you really doing things that are benefiting you and helping your soul, helping you mentally, physically, spiritually? Are you feeding your soul? Are you asking yourself, your spirit? Ask yourself, how much time do I give back to me to help me grow? And a lot of people probably can't give a good answer on that, because we live in a rat race. That's where we are. And so, yeah, it's where we are in our society. So how do we expect to get better if we don't take a step back and realize, like, hey, look at all this stuff in my life that a lot of people are going through, that uh, we're not making time anymore for ourselves and to spend time with people and to slow down and relax. We don't have time to relax anymore. It seems like we don't make time to relax anymore. Everything's go, 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 go. And the only way to feel better about yourself is through doership and forcing things, quantity, all these things we talked about today. But when you learn to allow and have more quality time and more quality people in your life, and fill yourself with quality things, again, quality, that's more than anxiety. That is allowing yourself to be and to grow, to be who you want to be. But that's peace. It's just like going back to the first clip of the show today from Tony Evans. The world will give you things that are externally to try to give you internally for peace. That stuff's temporary, right? It's like taking a pill for a headache. It's temporary. They're trying to cope. It's temporary. If you really want to heal, it's like this book. If you want to say F coping, start healing, right? You got to put more quality into your life. You got to take time for yourself and slow down. And also, when you start to do that, then you start to, and also, be more honest with people and tell people how you really feel and think. And surround yourself with quality. Again, that's the message I'm trying to get out here. Quality. Do you have a lot of quality in your life? Quality time, quality tools, quality tools for your mind to go. Like what I mean by this. For me, I try to read books like this. When I read the Word, the most important book. When I watch these videos, I'm giving myself tools that I can use throughout the day, because each day is unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen in a day. You might get in a situation or have a stretch of your day where you get a little irritated or down. You go into your toolkit, right? Again, you're building yourself up. We're not building each other up anymore. We tear ourselves down, and then we also tear each other down too in society nowadays, because our music is just really disintegrating each other. But that's a whole other topic. But again, you're not a victim. Don't I'll say you're not a victim, because some people are victims of things. But what I'm trying to get at is, don't tell yourself you're not a victim. Don't carry that victimhood mentality around. Don't allow yourself to not take time for yourself. Don't allow this world to speed you up and make you feel pressured into doing something you don't want to do, or do things you don't want to do, or whatever it is. And don't feel like that you have to live like this the rest of your life, because you don't. It's up to you. It's up to you. You just got to take the leap of faith and do it. And so, again, being honest with yourself is the first. You just got to, when is enough enough? You got to ask yourself that. Write it down. Is what I'm doing now, it's not working. Have I can't speak. Have I had enough pain associated with this? If so, what am I going to do about it? Am I tired of where I am? What am I going to do about it? Am I tired of being in this shitty relationship? What am I going to do about it? Am I tired of doing my job? Again, not saying just quit your job and don't work, but start to set goals for yourself. If you're tired of what you're doing in your life, set goals for yourself and strive towards those goals. Believe you'll reach those goals. Make a step-by-step process. It's just like healing anxiety, like I said earlier, with systematic desensitization, right? And so this all these things with anxiety, and just I've kind of ranted here about life in general here at the end. It's all connected, right? But that's why I played that first clip today with Tony Evans, because where it all starts the most is in the inside, with your spirit, with your soul. Your spirit connects to your soul, which connects to your body. Go to your spirit. Go back to your DNA. Be who you really are. Not with this. Don't try to be somebody you're not. And don't try to be who this world. Don't let this pressure of this world make you feel like there's not help. Make you feel like you have to be a certain way, and you're not. If you don't, you're not X, Y, and Z. You're not good enough to fit in, and that therefore, and that's why a lot of people, they isolate and they suppress, and they don't do what's necessary to take the leap of faith because they feel like they're not good enough. Right? If somebody let you down in the past, or somebody made you feel like that, you just got to forgive them in your heart. Pray to God. Understand those people, they want to live in a miserable place and that's how they want to be, then so be it. That's on them. That doesn't apply to me. As for me and myself, God said I was somebody. I'm going to start living like it. I'm going to start living like the person that God sent his son to die on the cross for, because he cared for me. And so that's how I'm going to start living. I'm going to start living, giving myself that self-empowerment and that confidence. That's how I'm going to start living. No more of this other stuff, of this victimhood and all this crap, all this, the pressures, everything. No, I'm going to be who I want to be. It's up to you to be who you want to be. You got to make that choice for you. I can't do it for you. Mike Antonace can't do it for you. And sometimes God's waiting for you. He's waiting on you. And I've been there. He was waiting on me. And I waited so long, I put it off so long that he had to move me to wake me up, to get me awakened to, hey, I need you to do this, Joseph. I got a plan for you. And so I need you to do this. It's going to help people. It's going to help yourself. And so, but it's going to help so many people as well. You need to do this. And so it's taking that leap of faith. And I know I ranted there at the end, guys. That's what I tend to do sometimes. But I really hope you guys took something away from this today, because, again, this speaks to a lot of what people are going through right now. And a lot of, especially people my age, but just honestly, just my age. I don't like to pick on my age, but all over across the board. I mean, there's people I've known that have been living like this for years. I'm talking 40, 50 years. And they just never change. People are afraid. They're afraid of something. They're afraid to let go. I think a lot of it's because they feel like they're not going to be accepted. And when you start becoming who you want to be, it may not be what some people like. Because some people like you know why? Because this might be the most important thing I say today, one of them, because maybe the most powerful. Because when you start to become who you truly want to be, like I said earlier, it might piss some people off. People might not like who you're becoming, because those people like keeping you down where you were. Point blank. There's people out there that like when you're down and where you were. Either to make themselves feel better, or they feel like they're so low in their life they can have somebody to relate to, and they can all stay down in a little tiny little cubby hole and not do anything. Or there's some people that really just don't want to see you succeed, because they're jealous or whatever it is. And so realize that that's out there. And also realize the enemy, God has his soldiers here, Don't think the enemy doesn't have his soldiers too. A lot of places we think are the most holy in our society, especially our churches and stuff, are becoming the most corrupted places because there's bad apples being put in them. You got to remember that and be aware of that. And so that's a message for today. Like I said, you're looking for a good book. F Coping, Start Healing by Dennis Simsek, the anxiety guy. Great book. He's got 2 other books, I believe. I think he has another one coming out. I don't want to put it out there. I know he has other books as well. Go look him up. And yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this today. I hope you guys really please take something from this message and leave a comment below, or whoever you are. I don't care who you are. If you want to message me online, if you want more dialogue or more help, feel free to hit me up. I'll keep it private. Just don't be afraid to speak up. Everybody needs help. I'm an open book. You can hit me up on Instagram, Facebook. Leave a comment below, whatever. If you want to, whatever it is, even if I don't know you or if I do know you. And so, and some of you guys, I know people out there have already started dialoguing with, and just trying to help you guys out. And I appreciate that. And keep it going, keep it coming. Share this message with somebody. There might be somebody out there right now that needs to hear this. You never know. Share this message. Like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And yeah, man, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, like I said. And yeah, I'm out of here, guys. I'll see you the next one. I am.